Robin Williams touched millions of hearts throughout his years of smiles, tears, and laughs. It didn't matter what role he played, showing his heart in each of his characters. He continued to push what he could do in his own world of play. This is what made Robin Williams one of a kind.
Theater in Hollywood, August 15th and 16th. Would you welcome Robin Williams?
Risking is just, for me, it's always been kind of part of the thing of just trying different things.
It's the process of the work, healing away again. You think you're great, and then something comes along and goes, you're not that hot.
But when you really find a new piece, then there's something wonderful. The creation, the idea of when you create, that's extraordinary.
I feel that in all Robin's performances, he showed you his truth of the character. He always had a sparkle to every character he played. You could see the life behind his eyes, the history of a character from just one glance. He loved to play. He loved to explore the world and push the envelope of what was true. What role could he have more fun with than Mrs. Doubtfire?
It's so freeing to be to change totally and be someone else. Totally transforming. That's why I'd rather play more character parts. These are the things that you kind of look for when you're an actor. After a few minutes, they forgot it was me. And
Absolutely.
That's perfect. That's a great thing. That's a great compliment. That there's no mannerisms, no trace of me except my eyes. It's really quite liberating.
In Mrs. Doubtfire, we get to see the true range of Robin's physical and vocal instincts. Any other actor wouldn't be able to pull it off as true or as honest or as funny as Robin did. No matter in what scene, he'll get you to laugh once and want you to root for him even more.
Back off, asshole!
Ooh, by the looks of you, that water's so cold.
The longer you stay with this character, the more you feel for him. The more you want him to win with his kids. It's a touching story of love. This father would do anything to be with his kids, and during the whole movie, Robin warms our hearts with laughter.
And the boys are incredible, and I read it, and I was as much moved by their characters as I was by mine. And it was something that appealed to me greatly from the very beginning.
Robin's character in Dead Poets Society is quite calm and nuanced compared to many of his other roles. But there's just something about a subtleness that hits home for me. Throughout the whole movie, you can see he just wants to help because of his love for teaching for the kids. His wonder for life just radiating off of him. It speaks to everyone as if he's talking to you through the screen.
Medicine, law, business, engineering, these are noble pursuits and necessary to sustain life. But poetry, beauty, romance, love, these are what we stay alive for. That you are here, that life exists, and identity. That the powerful play goes on, and you may contribute a verse. What will your verse be?
You come out of this movie as a different person. This movie makes you look at life with a different lens, a more appreciative lens, and a sense of magnificence towards life. It's one of those movies you'll never forget that'll change you.
Seize the day, boys. Make your lives extraordinary.
Shows a life of, working in the neighborhood, working basically in Boston, and working back with the people he grew up with. In a weird way, he's kind of like, in Matt's character, he wanted to work with the people he knew, and, the community he grew up in. But he's guarded. He's been through a lot.
There's a kind of understanding of the soul in this movie. Sean sees the beauty and horror of life and experienced it. Robin Williams' deep well really comes out in this role. He's dealt and is dealing with his deep scars. It really starts to show where Matt Damon starts creeping closer and closer behind the meaning of the painting. The rising tide of sadness flickering behind Robin's eyes, trying to counter with jokes, putting his hand up to protect himself, and we see the wedding ring come into frame. When Matt Damon finally hits that sore spot,
Well, that's it, isn't it? You married the wrong woman.
If you ever disrespect my wife again, I will end you. I will end you.
That I can't even control myself, and I basically go for him. And I violate the therapeutic relationship in that moment. It's no longer a therapeutic relationship. And that's why, the next session, that speech by the Swan Pond is essentially saying, okay, I know who you are, you know who I am, and you really, you messed with my life in a huge way. But I want you to know I know who you are, and I know you need some help. And if you want to work on that, I'd love to help you. But it's up to you, and that's why I say it. And then it just begins, this process of the two of them just talking, First couple of times they don't even talk. It's a standoff, where he won't even say anything. And then it works to a point where finally we start, I have to kind of tell him, we ask him a few questions and he tells things and he starts working. Then I start sharing a little bit of myself for some reason with him.
Wonderful little idiosyncrasies. She used to fart in her sleep. I'm sorry I shared that with you. One night it was so loud it woke the dog up.
The reason probably is that in him, you see yourself. There are things, he can have everything. I know he's a genius. That's a given. That's not what I'm there to work on. I'm there to work on the other part of him. The other part is to reach that's his soul. And at the end, I'm just saying to him, what do you want to do? You could do anything, And just bounce there for. But in the end, it's like me. It is father, son, but it has all sorts of other elements.
You can see him experiencing every story behind his eyes is written on his face like the dried ink on the script. It's just a feeling you can't describe while watching this film. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. There were so many tough movies to choose from while doing this. Robin Williams has such a wide and dynamic career that once you look at it, you don't truly understand how much he really did. He knew how to have the audience understand him and his characters like a picture, either comedic or dramatic or both at the same time. He played the truth of the character that many actors work a lifetime to get a glimpse of. Robin's true strength was that he was human and he felt everything and brought everything every day on set. Robin's exploration into each role and never settling for less. Always trying to find the honesty, the secrets in his scene, and living in his world of play. And I'm going to finish with the wise words of Robin.
Just keep going. Find that thing you love because it's tough work. And my father gave me this advice when I said I wanted to be an actor. He said, have a backup profession like welding. But I think if you can find that thing that really gives you joy, that'll be it. Because for me, it's always been comedy and stand-up and acting too, because of exploring behavior. But it's tough work, and if you can get it, even better. Good luck.